So now we've got the lower teeth scanned, I've just clicked at the top here and we'll move on to the top teeth. So again, we start at the back. And all the way around on the occlusal surface. Sometimes it can be difficult to get the wisdom teeth in at the back, so if you just ask the patient, if you just move your jaw to the left, and that gives you a little bit more space just to get around the back of that wisdom tooth. I usually do half of the buccal and then reposition to do the other half. So if we just pick up again, the occlusal area, over onto the buccal side. Again, you can get the patient to move their jaw if that's helpful. And then back onto the platal. Just to get all those areas in blue which haven't been picked up. So we've now scanned the top and bottom teeth and we now need to do the bite. So if you click on this middle button here, this allows us to record how this patient bites together. Again, we hold the scanner head in the middle and we use one of the buttons on the side to start it. You then move the lip out the way and pop the scanner on one side, click on, and you can actually watch to make sure the patient isn't opening. And you just move the scanner up and down and you can see that the arches have appeared. That means that the scanner has picked up the occlusion on that side. And then you do the exact same on the other side. So again, just move the lip, pop the scanner in, turn it on, up and down, and it's picked up the arches straight away. So we now have a record of the bite and the occlusion. If you click onto the patient tab on the home page, it'll bring you to this page here, which ordinarily would have the list of all of your patients that you've scanned. So I've searched myself at the top here. So if I click on my name, it'll then show me all of the scans that I've had done. So you can click on these and have a look at them if you wish. If we look at today's scan and click on Viewer, this will load the scan and just show a basic scan for the patient. This can be used for patient education, so you might show them calculus build-up, any staining. If they've got some amalgam fillings that they want replacing, then you can show them on the screen rather than in their mouth, which can be useful for a lot of patients. You can show how the teeth bite together and also each arch individually. So if we just look at the lower arch for a moment, we can see there's a little bit of mild crowding here and a little bit of calculus build-up, so that's something that we can show the patient, inform them about. That might prompt a visit to the hygienist, or if the patient's concerned about the crowding, maybe some Invisalign or other orthodontics. If we look at the top teeth, just here, again we can see there's a little bit of crowding there, and once the patient has had a look through the scan, that will be saved on the scanner, so you can then bring it back up at the next checkup, for example, and make some comparisons. Here on the patient viewer, there's a few options at the side which you can choose. So at the top, we've just got the full arch, top and bottom teeth. Obviously, if you wanted to remove one of these, you can use these at the side, so we can just have a look at the top teeth, for example. If you then choose the second option down, this shows the occlusal view of the top and bottom teeth. And the next one down will show the occlusal and the front and side views, which can be quite useful for the patient to see all at once. We go back to the start and we get the occlusal view up just here. If you click this tab at the bottom, this shows a heat map of where the teeth are touching or biting together, and that can be seen on the top and the bottom teeth just there. So we now have a scan of the top and bottom teeth and also the bite. If you then just click the next button at the top, we'll then process the scan, and once it's been processed, if you click the envelope here, you can then confirm and send, and this will send the scan off if you want to use it on your Invisalign doctor site. If you've chosen the case type Invisalign plus iRecord, you can then use this scan to get an outcome simulator. So if we click this option here, Invisalign Outcome Simulator, this will enable you to show a potential before and after of how the patient's teeth could look with Invisalign treatment. Now, this is really useful because if you explain to a patient that you're moving teeth in a certain way, it can be quite difficult to visualise, but this gives a visual on screen of a potential before and after. It's important to explain to the patient that this is a computer-generated outcome simulation, so not all tooth movements may be possible, but obviously once the outcome simulator record is back, you can inform the patient of this. So here we have the outcome simulation for this patient. The tools at the top enable you to show the patient the teeth from different angles. You can obviously move this on screen, but if you just wanted to show the patient, for example, the occlusal surface of the maxillary teeth, you can see here, and you can see after that the mild crowding has been resolved. And if we press mandible, we can see the same here, that the mild crowding has been resolved just there. If we click IPR at the top, we can see where the outcome simulator has popped IPR in order to correct the crowding in this area. Because it's a simulation, the dentist may not always agree with what's been done here, but it does prompt conversation with the patient. So you can say, because this canine is buccally positioned, we're going to have to do some IPR in this area to get it where it needs to be. So you can start having those conversations early on and explaining to the patient the process. And that just prevents, the patient being shocked at any point in the process. There's also an Occlusal Tab. This shows where the teeth are biting together at the start and with the outcome simulator where they would be at the end. So we can see there's some contact on the lower anteriors here, which there isn't at the end. So that's just another tool just to show the patient. There's also an option to share this outcome simulator. If you press share at the top, this enables you to write the patient's email and actually send this outcome simulator so they have access to it after the appointment. So here we can see the scan of another patient's teeth, and what the system allows you to do is take screenshots. So for example, I might want to take a screenshot of this to send to the patient. So you just click this little button here with the camera on at the top. If you then click on the screenshot, you can annotate it. So you might want to draw an arrow to a certain tooth, circle teeth. You can also add text, so you can put a text box. To save it, if you just click Keep Annotations at the top, that will then save onto My Itero. You log on to My Itero the same way as you log onto the scanner, but obviously on the computer. And when you go onto My Itero, you'll have all of the annotations for the patient, and you can create a report which you can email to them. You can also get other members of the team involved with the scanner. Even before it arrives, nurses and therapists and receptionists can do modules on iLearn. When the scanner does arrive, I'd encourage you to train other members of the team, get them enthusiastic about the scanner use, and it will also take some of the scanning burden off yourself. So if you do an orthodontic consultation, the nurse can actually scan the patient while you're writing your notes up, just to make things nice and efficient. I'd also recommend at the start of the day, if you and your nurse go through your day list and see which patients you would need the scanner for, that will enable your nurse to bring the scanner into the room for those particular patients, so there's no waiting around.